Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I missed the okay. You know what time it is? It's happening! It's happening! Okay, I'm gonna say this. Stations where? Before we begin the net, first word suffix Alpha for Zulu, please call now. Alpha for Charlie, please call now. If there's anybody needs to use our reader before we begin the evening's nets. Here's repeater before we begin the evening's nets. Alpha for Charlie, please call now. Delta for Foxtrot, please call now. This is another 7 J, which Delta Echo Foxtrot, please call now. Well, yeah. Alright. Anybody need to use a repeater before I begin the evening's nets?
I guess by the way the crow flies, you said about what?
Is there anybody need to use this? Okay. Is there anybody need to use this repeater before I begin the evening's nets?
Do we need to use the repeater before we begin the evening's nets?
Yeah, copy that. Thank you so much. And hello, this is Kilo Bravo 1 November Lima Joey Tommy Nagawam. I'll be your net control station for the MTARA information net. This met every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. on this W1TO repeater system.
My name is Philip.
Recognizing KB1 and one FTC, Phil and Jacoby, and AJ1GB. Thank you so much for checking in. This is a directed net. There will be a roll call that will be following right in a few minutes. Please stand by. This is WA1 WWL.
Invited to participate and encouraged to check in to this net, listing their comments, queries, or any other net business. This is a directed net. Roll call follows. Please stand by. Direct roll comments to the naked.
Alright, the next first call time will be for any station traffic or announcements. First one is Alpha. Alpha for Zulu, please call now.
Zulu, please call now.
Alright, over here, we'll start with direct roll call with first station without traffic or announcements. First one is suffix Alpha for Charlie. Please call now.
PVX, what kind of traffic do you have for us this evening? I can note it. Just a query. We can do it at the end of the roll call. At the end of roll. Thanks for checking in. Any other net business before we begin the general roll call? N1SFF with a question. I thought last week's was pretty good.
All
I think I got you down also. Now begin a general.
Oh gosh, I just without traffic right now. First one is suffix Alpha for Charlie. Please call now.
Call now.
Okay, I think I got nothing heard.
Nothing heard. They heard first.
For suffix Echo Delta for Foxtrot.
This is Kilo Charlie 1 Delta Alpha X-Ray. David, 16 acres section of Springfield. Commercial power, no traffic. Good evening, Phil, and good evening to the net. Here is NL7FJ, Rich, West Springfield. Good evening, Phil, and good evening to the net.
Checking in is David, KC1, TX, and hello out listening to NL7. MJ Rich has joined us. The next call group is first letter suffix GH and I. Nothing heard. This is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie, and CS4, the Mountain Information Net. Listening for check-ins, first letter suffix J-A-N-L.
This is Kilo Delta 1 Kilo Uniform. Ken Chicopee, commercial power, negative traffic. Good evening, Phil. Good evening to all. Here is Whiskey 1 Juliet Zulu Romeo. Here in Holyoke, commercial power, 2 meter side, and nothing else to report. But good evening to you, Phil, and good evening to all those on the net. Kilo Charlie 1, Echo Whistle, Quebec.
Joining us is Ken, K81, Gary W1, JZR. Next call group is first letter suffix MN and O.
Here is Kilo Charlie 1 Oscar November Alpha, Brian Wilbraham, commercial power, no traffic. Good evening, Phil. Good evening, everybody. Okay, that recognizes KC1EEQ, Steve in Milford, and KC1IBR.
Hello, KC1ONA. Again, this is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie, and Control 4, the Information Net. Listening for check-in. First letter suffix PQ and R.
Here is November 1, Papa Victor X-Ray, Stephen Westfield. Yeah, one query at the end of the check-ins. Hey, finally, stations ending Tango through Zulu. Tango through Zulu. Please call now.
And you want PBX with a question mark. Okay, thank you, Steve. Next group is first letter suffix ST and U.
And you know, here is November 1, Sierra Foxtrot, Dragon, Indian Orchard.
Oh, this is K1, K1SIWI.
Already checked in, and 1SFF. Last call group is first letter suffix VW, X, Y, and Z.
Got some chickens.
Okay, this is H1YK, net control for the Region 5 Aries net. That recognizes WR1 Greg in Roxbury. Thank you very much for checking in this evening.
First letter suffix.
Okay, now
Next up is first letter suffix Alpha.
Listening for any further check-in with or without questions or announcements. First letter suffix Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
Oh, this is Cal 1, I'll Sierra Whiskey in here. Right in front of me. No traffic. No. This is November 1, November Hotel Papa, Bravo, King, and Springfield.
Alright, go to the top of the list with the question. Is N1PVX? Go with the question.
November 1, Sierra Whiskey, Papa, Quentin, and Hamden. If you want to Echo, Stanford, and Fairfield, no traffic.
Thank you, Phil. It started out as I need to get in touch with our president. I think she's still president, Sue. And the MTARA webpage does not have any email contact list. Secondly, I went into GoDaddy just now to look at who owns MTARA.org,
6 a.m.
Shed
and
some light on
buyers
the
come in starting at 8. And if you have some
81
time,
K.
it seems like it's so far
Anyway,
it
can you
sounds
acknowledge?
like
What do
the
you
weather's
have
gonna be
over
pretty
there,
good for Saturday. So let's all
No, I just got something for
get out
Steve.
and do some
Yep, that's why I'm calling. Go ahead, sir.
go up to the flea market. See
Okay, make sure.
if you
Yeah,
find some
Steve,
parts
I
you
don't
can
know
use
about
for a project
sewer
or
stuff.
just,
I
get
do
together with
see
friends
something on
and
Facebook
chat.
once in a while, but don't really pay attention.
Okay,
As
let's go
far as
down
the
the list.
domain,
W1
more than
QH,
likely, I'm not
Holland,
speaking from
how
experience
it
with
things
that
over there in
particular
Danbury.
domain, but that's probably the registrar of the domain. In other words, the ones that they went, probably whoever does it for MTARA to go through. Just like, GoDaddy, and there's thousands of them out there, I hope that helps and answer your question somewhat.
Well, I'm confused because it gives the mailing address for the owner of this domain as Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, a few years ago they changed things so you hide your identity,
Okay, W1QH.
basically. So that,
YK.
I'm guessing, but I know how my domains work, and that's what you can do. You used to be able to go in there and look everything up about who owns it, when it expires, and everything, but they've got new privacy laws, I guess.
All right, W1JGM, John, how are things going with you at New Fairfield?
Well, who is under
Things here.
GoDaddy should give you all that information. There shouldn't be anything hidden. Okay, I'm gonna try to get in touch with Sue. I had heard through the grapevine that she resigned, but then she said she's back as president, so I'm confused. Back to that. Interesting question, Steve. As far as any of that goes, beyond me, I don't do too much with the internet. 81K, thank you for your assistance. All right, next on the list is N1SFF, N1SFF, and 1FTC on K.
Okay, W1JGM.
N1SFF, in lieu of being
Region 5 then.
fairly difficult for last week's question,
Sorry, you won't be able
I'm going to give you an easy one. Most of you old farts like me can band this one out of the park. What is SWR and why is it important to us?
Dana, how are things in Winchester this evening?
WR wave ratio and the amount of energy reflected from the antenna back towards the transmitter. Any more elucidation on that? Call N1FTC.
Yes, what's the difference between SWR and VSWR?
After that, your sound they're having, I don't know what.
Throwing the voltage in there. That one I'm not too sure of. I think I went PVX answered that question once before. Steve, do you have that one in one PVX? PVX. This is N1FTC. No, I don't.
Okay, SWR is a ratio of power. VSWR is a ratio of voltage, if that makes any sense.
A1YK. Very good, Dana. That sounds like fun.
Really good voltage.
Down the
Oh well.
All right, they must have some interesting.
I guess that would just be an aspect of
Hopefully the Bears don't join in.
as opposed to
Actually, haven't seen any bears
yeah,
here in
it's
my
the
area.
reflection.
Woodbury. Very odd.
But
I know some
with the
people in other
transmitter
parts
and the
have
antenna.
seen it.
Once again,
So,
any other comments, Paul?
as they say, bear aware. They're trying don't put any food out and
With the roster,
to attract them.
please
It can be a real
check in.
problem. So,
Danny, I already called
and,
that. I was going to do one more. I will get you on the log. Any thoughts on the current question?
Okay, KC1EQ, Steve. How are things with you in
K1VWQ. Not with the VSWR. Don't know much about that, so maybe I think you can explain it. I apologize for being late. We wrapped it up late on 10 meters, and we like to come over here to check in after that, and sometimes we run over, so I'm not sure where we are in the roster, so my apologies for being out of, I guess, I don't want to say compliance, but I mean, maybe being a little unorthodox. But yeah, I was just waiting by. I know that SWR is so important because if we're not maintaining the proper standard wave ratio, the heat generated from the power of the radio will come back to the radio, and if we're not maintaining the 50 ohm using the right speed line for that versus 50 ohm line versus say like 75 ohm, good chance of smoking the final on the radio. So anyway, that's all. Pretty standard stuff, but it's a good question Greg brings up because we have I hear a lot of new hams every week. So that's good that we're getting new life in the hobby. That's wonderful to hear. So they are important questions to touch base on, but I'll stand by do the rest check in when
very good, Steve.
ready. K1
I guess you'll have a good time there at the pit. There. At least this train will be a little easier to run than the one at the Kennedy Machinery Museum. Okay, KC1IBR, Charlie.
Sorry, Phil. Yeah, it looks like you're having that standard mic issue problem that you're having. I didn't get much audio out of that, and I think you might have had another round of check-ins because someone on our net from Brimfield wanted to check into this net, I believe. I don't know if you got anybody from Brimfield. But I'm operating commercial power here from Southwick, again, call sign Kilo 1 Victor Whiskey, Quebec. And I'm also involved with Mount Tom. I kind of missed that round of questioning, but if anybody has a question about Mount Tom, the Repeater Association, I can certainly do my best to fill in the blanks. So I'll stand by for that. And again, this is K1VWQ in Compton. On UHF.
This is November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie, I should be DFQ. Again, I'm going to call Greg to ask again if there was anything else you wanted to go further on his question, and when SFF, and when SFF, and when FTC and CS.
And when SFF, no, I've already abused enough time.
Okay, proper procedure. Okay, good. All right, this is November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie. I'm going to put out a call for any late check-ins, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
This is the W1 TOM repeater, CL127.3.
This is Alpha 1, Uniform Echo. Gary in Southampton on battery power. Good evening to everybody.
Yeah, Raz.
Okay, WR1Z, AG1YK, next.
Kilo Charlie 1, Sierra Zulu Papa. KC1SZP, Stephen Brimfield, Commercial Power.
Peter, nice and solid that time. Very good. Thank you for checking in this evening.
This is
Okay, let me stand by now for any further stations that wish.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Uniform Tango Kilo.
That wish to check
Mike
in
out of
to the
Chicopee.
5 area net, please call now.
And with 3 added check-ins, hello to Gary A1UE. Hello to Steve, representing Ringfield. Right, your call sign a little bit more clearly so I can read it. KC1SZP. And hello again to Mike in Chicopee, my fellow Chickapillian, KC1UTK. Are there any comments or questions, or other late check-ins for this net call? And one FDC.
Why don't you pick it up? Quick comment.
Additional K1BWQ.
K1 VWQ with additional. Go ahead, Danny.
Thanks, Phil, and thanks again for hosting each week. Just a quick question to, I guess it was Steve. I kind of half heard anything. Again, I'm here to answer any questions if I can about Mount Tom. And also on the internet, I saw Steve post a thing about emails for the club, and I had an answer for that. I didn't know if he wanted to pursue it here or later, but I had an answer for that. So just standing by, ready to serve. Kilo 1 Victor with Nicola.
Yeah, K1 VWQ. Actually, N1 PVX, N1 PVX. Pose your question to K1 VWQ. Maybe he can help you out.
K1 VWQ N1 PVX. Well, I wanted to pose send an email to Sue, our president, or maybe not president. I heard she quit and then came back. Yet there are no links in the MTARA.org webpage, nor is there any information that I noticed on the Facebook page. And somebody, and I posed this question on the Facebook page, and someone wrote a response saying no one knows how to edit the MTARA.org webpage for some reason, and I just looked it up and on Whois on GoDaddy, and why does it give me a Jacksonville, Florida phone number? So lots of questions I need answered to, Danny.
Phil, was that direct? Can I take that?
Yeah, please do, Danny. Kind of curious myself.
Yeah, I'll try to take those in order of memory. Let's go back to the email. Well, let's go back to the website real quickly since I'm webmaster for them. I'm having an awful time. We are using, we use WordPress, which I think HCRA does, and I had talked to Alan on this, the president for HCRA about this, but I'm not a big fan of WordPress. I never have been. I think it's terrible to use. I don't even like the format, but nonetheless, those are the tools I was given. So I'm having trouble with the Mount Tom website because they use modular jetpacks, and periodically they like to change out the jetpacks, and Mount Tom has discovered a module on their website that either is no longer being supported or crashing, and the access I was giving to from Jurgen that used to have it was just like the backdoor access. So I have none of the FTP software to fix it, and I've tried to be in touch with WordPress, and it's all user shared stuff, and I'm not getting any support from them. So we're kind of in a dead zone, unfortunately, with the main website. Let me take another chunk of time. I'll try to move through these quickly. So right now, I can't seem to update the website, which is unfortunate. So we've been using Facebook as a secondary backup. So I apologize to those who are not Facebook users, but we're pretty relative on Facebook. As far as the email addressing issues, the board of directors were getting a ton of spam. They were getting hacked a lot through spamming because the personal emails of each were on there, so they asked me to remove them because it was a round of spam that just kept going around and around and around, and I don't know if it was a bot or whatever, but they since asked me to remove those, so it's a little unfortunate that we can't use it that way, and I can't update it because of the website, but I can try to get you Susan's directly and send you that information, and then to answer, let me get another chunk of time. As far as I know,
know Susan was and has been and is still always active as the MTRA president. I haven't heard of her resigning. I heard her say through an email that she was not going to be able to attend the next meeting. I don't know if that part has changed. She may have since reconsidered attending that meeting, but as far as being Madam President, I haven't heard anything of her officially resigning, and I'm pretty up on the now for that. And back to the website, since I can't get into the old one, I've been working designing a new one, which is through Wix. I use Wix for the POTA 413 website stuff, and I'm a little more familiar. So if the board should decide to go forward, if we can't fix the module on the old one, they'll probably take a vote. I mean, I'm not involved, but they'll probably take a vote through the membership and see if we can transfer the ownership to the Wix program using the domain name of mtara.org. So, because we own that as far as we're paying for it, and since we are paying for it, we can apply it to the new website. So the new website through Wix is not available yet publicly, but I've been working on the background, so it'll be a smooth transition once we do. Steve, did that cover everything? I hate to, I can stay on frequency after all the nets and fill in any blanks for anybody, but just trying to move it along for Phil. Anything quickly, Steve?
Told me more than I knew, that's for sure. If you have the opportunity after the nets to give me a call, I would appreciate that.
I will certainly do that. I will call you after N1RLX in case you want to participate with that. So, Phil, thanks for the time. Hopefully I filled in a lot of the blanks, and I do apologize as webmaster. I'm having an awful time with WordPress, and if anybody on frequency knows a little bit more about WordPress than I am, there might be a way to salvage the old one and actually get into it, but no one, including myself, can seem to get through the bad module that crashed the site. It's not crashed. You can actually still visit it, and the information's still very relevant. It's just that it's showing old news for the meeting. Like I think the last meeting we had was when Ken Wendico was doing Civil Air Patrol, and I can't update that. But as far as the rest of the information on the website is relative and true, as far as where we meet, the time and place we meet, and things of that nature, the links, helpful resource links are still working. So a lot of that stuff is still active, and you can still go to it. It just doesn't give you current information because I can't update it. But Phil, sorry for that was a lot for a late net with myself checking in, but probably stuff that needed to get said. Anyway, thanks, Phil. Back to control from Kilo 1 Victor Whiskey Quebec, and I'll stay on frequency, and yes, Steve, I will call you.
Back to net. This is November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie, net control for the information net. We have some information this evening. Thank you, Danny. K1BWQ. Are there any other comments or questions for this net call? November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie.
A new station alert has arrived.
Last call for late check-ins, and then we're going to roll right into the swap net.
We've just got all the signals, but you're still coming in pretty good.
Does anyone need to use the repeater before we begin the next net? Nothing heard. Good evening once more, and welcome to the MTARA Swap Net. This is November 1. Delta Charlie, net control for this evening. Our net is held every Wednesday around 8 p.m. or after the info net. The purpose of this net is to help amateurs buy, swap, sell ham radio and related items, as well as computers and computer-related items. Keep that has two simple rules: no bargaining. Is it off ways, however, may state an asking price and give a brief description of each item. Please give a phone number or some way it can be reached after the net. At this time, are there any licensed amateurs on frequency with an item for sale, swap, or something you're looking for? Call 1FDC.
N21GLM. I have to wait as well. I have to call this onto the last one save.
FTC and SFF.
Hey, two angels.
One SFF, one SFF. Go ahead. What you got, Greg? Over to you.
Oh, it's that there's that.
Sorry for taking so long to get back to you.
Yeah.
Background audio is pretty darn high, so. Okay, good evening to the net. I have a bunch of antiques and laboratory grade meters. I've got 3 AC voltmeters, mirrored scale.
Wait.
I've got several others that right now escape me. Black wrinkled texture, laboratory grade, calibrated, and I'm asking for 25 a piece for them. Oh, by the way, they're illuminated. So we're talking true laboratory grade. Oh my goodness, Phil, I'm drawing a blank. I've got a Tektronix 2240 dual trace 20 megahertz scope. I'm looking for 100 best offer for that, and I can be reached at 413-326-6003.
Looking for net control, I do list one
The one SFF?
again, stations with traffic only. Your call signs, please.
My first Bears net tonight.
A little action on that during the week. And this is NOS FTC looking for 3 to 4 band omnidirectional. Listening. All right. Are there any other listings for the swapping app? E1 BWQK, go on BWQ. What do you have, Danny? Over to you.
Periodically, I'll just transmit the item I have. So I have an 11 element 2-meter yacht.
Net control, I do hold one piece of traffic for KC1JTS. Right now, no one else is checking in, so we'll go into an informal, beginning with KC1ELZ. Hoping you got yourself into a little better of a position there, Craig. Any comments, announcements, any observations for the net tonight?
KC1ELZ portable. Thank you, Dan, and good evening, everybody. Just getting over a bad cold and feeling much better today. Working on an HT here, which I virtually never do at the house. Just compromised situation. Equipment difficulties, moving things around the house, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to ask to be relieved so I can get out and make sure I don't tie up anything. KC1 EO's it back to net control.
Roger, KC1EO said, very good, Craig. Gee, I'm sorry you're feeling so bad. You do sound rather rough there, and I do hope you're feeling better. And I know I just had a nasty cold myself. It's been about 2 weeks, and I'm just still having a really nasty cough that just will not go away, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep. It really stinks. I'm glad to hear, though, that you are starting to feel better. And yes, definitely get that HT fixed. And my hat's off to you to be able to do that. I tried to repair an HT. It's a disaster. I tried that with one of my old Alincos, and well, that thing isn't working anymore. So that ended that. All right, moving on now to N1QBU. Good evening, Dottie. Comments, announcements, any observations for the net tonight?
Oh, good evening, Dan, and whoever else is listening, on the net. What's a quiet day today? Tomorrow I'm going to Bradley International Airport. There's going to be a demonstration of an app, a navigation app, phone app for blind people, and they're navigating. They're putting points of interest on the satellite map so that we can navigate within public buildings. Information about signs and that kind of thing. So I think they've just mapped the Bradley Airport for this particular app for the blind, and I'm going to the demonstration of this. So I'll tell you how it goes tomorrow. That's all from me. Back to you, Dan. Net control from N1QBU.
N1QBU, N1MOB. Wow, Dottie, that's pretty cool. That's a great idea. I'm glad they've got something out, especially in the airport. If you have sight challenges, trying to get around, especially if it's crowded. Wow, good for you. I'm glad you're going to have a chance to try that out. I really hope it works out. I'm definitely going to want to hear about it, and hopefully I can check in tomorrow night around this time. Sometimes 8 o'clock is a rough time for me. But I'm hoping because I'd like to find out how it happened, how it worked out, I should say. All right, we've reached the bottom of the list. I'm hoping we're not the only 2 people that check in tonight. This is N1MOB Net Control. We are currently holding traffic for KC1JTS if he's around. Otherwise, any further stations, any further check-ins with or without traffic, your call signs, please.
Here is Charlie 1, Whiskey Golf Lima. Jesus in Manchester, Mobile.
And that recognizes KC1 WGL. Good evening, Jesus. Thanks for checking in tonight. You're sounding really good as mobile. We're in the comments section. Have any comments, any announcements, any observations for the net tonight?
Net, just getting out of the Paris meeting, driving to family members' birthday now, and busy day, but we're here. Good day. That's it for comments. This is KC1 WGL, back to net control.
Very good, Jesus. KC1 WGL and 1MOB. Yeah, and just be careful. It's raining here, at least in Bristol it's raining. I'm assuming it probably is at your end. And you mentioned that you're just cutting out of a Bears meeting. I'm assuming probably others are going to be checking in later on. So I will once again say any further stations, any further check-ins to the Bears in Manchester traffic net. Again, we are holding traffic for KC1JTS. Any stations with or without traffic, your call signs, please.
Here is November 1, Sierra, Papa Juliet, N1 SPJ,
The name is Dennis, located in Enfield, Connecticut. I have no traffic. Good evening to the net.
Check in and listen for the following information, your call sign. Using proper phonetic current location and the power on.
Net recognizes N1MJ. Good evening, Dennis. Right now, we are currently clear of traffic. Well, I shouldn't say we're clear of traffic. I do have one piece of traffic for Bill, but it's your turn to make any comments. Any comments, any announcements, any observations for the net tonight, Dennis?
Yeah, this is Dennis N1MJ here in Enfield. Good evening. First of all, good evening to everyone on the net and net control. Not raining quite yet in Enfield. I'm sure we're going to get a little bit overnight for sure. Quiet day for me. Yesterday was very busy along with numerous dog trainings and stuff like that. Today was a much quieter day as far as that concerned. But I was still busy with wrapping up some tail ends for some of the presentations I'm going to be doing and couldn't make the Bears net tonight. Couldn't afford to spend that much time. Hopefully I'll catch the next one in September when we start up again. Anyway, that's about it. Everyone have a great evening and a safe one. And this is Edwin SPJ. Back to net control.
Very good. N1FPJ, N1MOB. Good that you're working with the puppies. I know you were getting them all trained. And you mentioned you were wrapping up the tail end. Haha. I like that little pun. All right. Any further stations, any further check-ins into the Bears of Manchester traffic net? Again, the net is holding traffic for KC1JTS. Stations with or without traffic, your call signs, please.
Welcome in, Gary W1, KZR, and hello to Dan, 5-1 and 1 IVD. Dan, good to hear your voice, and not late at night like we usually do.
Well, since we have no further check-ins tonight, and KC1JTS is not available, I will say this has been a regular scheduled session of the Bears of Manchester Traffic Net. I wish to thank the Bears of Manchester for the generous use of their repeater. Thanks to all that stood by while the net was in session. Thanks to those who took messages, and those who brought in some traffic, and those who took messages, and those who stood by, and those that checked into the net tonight. This is N1MOB Net Control. Current time is 8:12 p.m. on Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. Bears of Manchester traffic that is now closed, and N1MOB clear.
Likely at N1 PVX. Last call group is first letter suffix, Quebec through Zulu. Please call now.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Uniform Tango Kilo. Mike, I was checking up the 5-watt, no traffic.
Okay, welcome, Mike. KC1. Okay, you're listening for any other further check-in. Alpha through Zulu. Please call now. Nothing heard. I am Simplex. I will call you going forward. You checked in. Please keep notes of who you can hear and their state straight. So, third in the winter, then in the summer. Also, this is the station that they have missed. Here on the repeater. We will now move the net to 146.55. It's 146.5. Make sure your radio is set to Simplex when changing frequencies. As you believe in 1 RLX emergency, Simplex net thanks MTR for use of the repeater. This is November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie, temporarily signed the non.
Yeah, now it's time. Stand by for Mr. Steve.
Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? Big Hurt, this is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie, N1 FTC. My name is Phil of Net Control Station 4. The M1RLX, emergency, simplex net. For the following stations, calling W1JZR, W1JZR. This is N1 FTC.
As always, full scale here. Back to Net Control.
You see once again, yeah, per usual. Full scale here on the alright. AVD, N1 IVD, Dan, at 5 watts. This is N1 PC. Yeah, tough to move what the earth put there, huh, Danny? N1 IVT, N1 IVT. 4 bars here into control this evening. Well, pretty good audio. Once again, thanks for being with us at 5 watts this evening. Hey, RDX for this time of the day. KC1HGC, KC1HGC. You copy that control tip? Over to you.
Oh man, I can't get KC1 HTC. At least I got one. I was hearing.
KC1 HGC, KC1 HGC, this is N1 FTC. I'll get back to Tim very shortly. All right. Now another member of the Full Scale Club is KC1DX. KC1DX. This is N1 FTC NCS. Over to you.
Roger, Phil, thank you. You're 20 over S, or 20 over 9 as usual. Juliet, Zulu Romeo is also 20 over 9. India Victor Tango is a solid S8. And HGZ, I got nothing, just like you. Back to net.
KC1DX, this is N1 FTC NCS. Gotta be a ham to talk like that. Full scale. Here into good old Chicopee this evening. Next, another one on the full scale is N1 PBX. N1 PBX. This is N1 FTC.
Alrighty, thanks, Phil. You always are full scale. W1JZR, you're plus 30 tonight. Danny, and when I full scale, just, breaking my meter here. KC1ABC, nothing, KC1DAX, full scale.
Hey, PBX, of course, full scale is good old Chicopee. Hey, Steve, would you call KC1HGZ? I think you're a lot closer than I am.
Jordy was in Ludlow.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. I think I got Ludlow is to the east of me, and I can see when I get up to the base for a couple of miles, but there's a couple of hills there, so I'll see if I can get to him on the repeater later. All right, thank you much. And let's say, hey, Mike, it should go KC1 UTK, KC1 UTK. This is N1 FTC.
I think we're gonna be done right here because I don't think. Okay. The other one.